Good morning, everyone, friends, neighbors, customers. We're thrilled to have you here. Now, keep that smile. Last night was probably, for opening night, the greatest night we've ever had. It was absolutely unbelievable. When you think that we had one rehearsal Wednesday night with everyone, and then last night was just absolutely magnificent. One thing we need your help, all of you, on is we need to get everyone here early. That is really the key, is to have everyone early. We start tonight and Saturday night at 7:30. It would be great if we had everyone in their seats by 6:30. But you've got to remember, and they have to remember, traffic is unreal. And then we have situations where people will come in and drop 2 or 3 off, and the others will take the car and then come back in an hour later and try to find, and they're holding seats. So we need to alert everyone, no, we can't hold seats. We need to get them in, and the way we go. But the thing we want to talk about, David Archuleta was out of this world. And Michael York, what a pro. I mean, it was like Saturday night and Thursday night. It was magnificent. To my left, Dr. Mac Wilberg here is a true, kind, brilliant genius. The music was out of this world. But the choir, the orchestra, the bells, the dancers, it was fabulous. So I want to just my job is to introduce these three. So we'll hear from Dr. Wilberg, we'll hear from David and from Michael. Brother Mac.
Well, we're delighted to have our 2 guest artists with us. First time that we've had one of our own as a featured artist, and did such a great job last evening. And then, of course, to have the distinguished actor Michael York with us, and he brings such a wealth of experience to the stage, and we're particularly with the particular story that we're telling this year. He brings a stature to that story that we're so grateful for. So we thank both of them, and we look forward to several more performances.
Go ahead, David.
I've just been so grateful for this opportunity to sing with the choir and be a part of this Christmas special. It's been something that, I've always enjoyed listening to the choir all the time. I think they're my most listened to thing on iTunes. But it was amazing to see just all the people here last night. It's weird how it's like a dress rehearsal, but it's at the same time it's a full show. But it was just amazing. There's no place like performing here, and it's just really incredible having the choir just right behind you. It's just like wow, is this really happening? But really, it's been wonderful.
Oh, good morning, everyone, if it is still morning. And please forgive these things. As I told President Monson this morning, it's not a Hollywood affectation, just a little eye problem. But yes, I agree. This has been an extraordinary experience. I was this sort of outsider. I'd been to Salt Lake City before and had been outside the buildings. And I'd seen the tapes of the shows and, of course, watched it on PBS. But to be actually inside, to belong as part of this extraordinary entertainment. But it's more than entertainment, because there's a great sense of fellowship and of worship, and especially at this time of year. And I can only echo what has been said, that we were very grateful that it sort of magically came together very, very quickly. And I think because David is such a endearing presence. I mean,
you.
And I'm just so much looking forward to what lies ahead to these next 3 days. And I can say thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here.
Now, if you have questions for Dr. Wilberg or for David or for Michael, now would be a good time. Any real hard questions, hold them, and we'll have President Monson answer them. All right.
David, you sort of addressed it earlier that you grew up listening to the choir and to the Christmas concerts and what your experience was like last night. Talk a little bit more about that. What was it like? What was it like not only with the choir behind you, but with this huge audience in front of you?
Well, yeah, it's, I've been able to during watching, I guess it's just interesting and being so, just growing up, admiring this building with conference and just knowing that it just seemed so unreal last night. It was one of those moments where it was very hard to actually take it in and realize this is actually happening. It's just bizarre because when you grow up having respect for something, you just don't really feel like, those kinds of things, it just seems unrealistic because when you admire something so much and just grow up with it there and watching it doesn't seem like you're going to be there next. But it was kind of like with American Idol in a way, I grew up watching it and just seeing Imagine performing there, it seems so amazing, but you don't think it'll actually ever happen. And so this is just another one of those experiences, and I think it's going to be it really is one of the most amazing things I've gone to do, and I know it'll be one of the most memorable moments in my life because it's such a privilege to get to do.
Dr. Wilberg, David, and Michael, if you will. So the bar's been set. That was a dress rehearsal, and it was the greatest show ever, is what I heard. How do you repeat the performance and continue on with the performances left?
Well, as an artist, you're never satisfied.
No.
So there's always things that you think can go better, and that's one of the great things about doing a repeat performance of something. Sometimes you work very, very hard, you have one performance, and then it's all over. And it's a great thing to be able to do these performances several times because, as I said, you always want it to be better.
I can only echo that too. And in fact, we are, you're not aware, but we're aware of little things, little glitches and so on. Only a matter of unfamiliarity that you suddenly find a camera in front of the monitor you're trying to read from. And also, the text is being it's being adapted to suit, the personality of the speaker. And I woke up this morning, I was never happy with the first line, and at 6:30 this morning, it came into my head. So it's going into the show tonight. So, and I imagine this is going to happen, down the line.
Yeah, I just what they said pretty much is, there's always like, if I only had done this, or if I only could have done this better, why did I do that? I think there's always, which is always great. I think it's great to be able to always have room for improvement because you always have something you always have somewhere a goal to have because it seems like you never reach it ever. But I think that's kind of how it is for everyone in life. It's like there's always somewhere to go, which is great because that's what keeps you moving forward and keeps you working hard.
For David, Michael, and Dr. Wilberg, can you give us a behind-the-scenes glimpse of how this engagement came about?
Well, it's always a bit of a challenge acquiring guest artists. It's much of it's based on availability, so on and so forth. And we actually had some artists who we thought that we were going to be able to have, and then they were unable to come, and this was about the beginning of the summer time. And so we went to work again, and Michael York, I believe, we engaged about 2 months ago, perhaps. He was, we're just, I have to say that I haven't even told Michael this, but I just happened to see on television a glimpse of Michael York in something, and a light really went off. And 2 days later, I believe that we had made contact and knew of his availability and looked like it might work. And so it's somewhat of a bit of a puzzle in putting it all together year to year.
I want to interrupt just for a minute. How did it all come together? Father in heaven. We've been trying to get David. We had a contract with him when he first won, and there was a situation with his contracts that he didn't know, and he couldn't be with us. And all that's happened is David has gotten better and better and better, and now we have him at his best. It was, and feel the spirit of Michael is just absolutely unbelievable. There's only one person that should be doing what Michael's doing, and we have him here.
It was meant to be, absolutely.